So we're on 11.2. Let's all go to our calculators. Make sure that mode is in degrees. That mode has got to be in degrees. Make sure your mode is in degrees. Can anyone make sense of this that I put up here for you? What? Let's go ahead and draw ourselves a triangle off to the side. Wow, that is chunky pen. And you guys, I'm just going to throw an A, B, and a C anywhere, but maybe for your ease, put your A, B, and the C where mine are. Where would little side A be? Option 1, option 2, option 3. Where would side A be? 1, 2, or 3? It's going to be over there. So this would be a little side A. Where would side B? Option 1 or option 2? Side B? 2. Yeah, option 2, side B opens up from angle B, and little side C would be there. So what the heck is this referring to? What is little a? It's the side. So this is just saying put this side length over what? The sine of the angle, the sine of that angle. And you could set that equal to, side B over the sine of angle B. You could do any variation, or we could do side C divided by the sine of angle C. Now, you only have to do 2 of them. So let me give you an example. So let's go take a peek at example A. It says, hey, go solve this triangle. You guys, we can only use SOHCAHTOA when we're doing right triangles. SOHCAHTOA is only good. Pythagorean theorem is only good with right triangles. So this is no longer a right triangle. So if we want to figure out, it says solve the triangle. We know that means we got to figure out all the angles and sides. Could we just find out that third angle pretty quickly? 45 plus 30, 75, 180 minus that. Boom, angle B. Don't have to write it anywhere else. It's right there. In order to find side A or side C, do you agree side A opens up from there? So this little guy would be side A. And then there's side B, angle B. So side B would be that little guy. Agree with that? Okay, so in order, which one do we want to find first, A or B? We can only do one at a time. A. I love it. Here's what we're going to do. Side A divided by the sine of angle A. Let's start with that. We don't know what side A is, so I'm just going to write A. Over the sine of angle A. What's angle A? 45. That's going to equal, we can do any variation of this stuff up here. I don't know what B is, so I'm not going to have it equal to B. Could I have it equal to side C over the sine of C? Yes. What is side C? Yeah, it's across from angle C. So I'm going to say that equals 5 over the sine of angle C, which is 30. Perfect setup. You've just used the law of sines. All you got to do now in law of sines, boom, cross multiply. In our calculator, you're going to type 5 times the sine of 45. Let's go get that decimal. 5 sine of 45. I'm going to just write 3.5 just because I don't feel like writing a lot of decimals because it's in the middle of my problem. But my answer, maybe I'll get a little bit longer. Then A times the sine of 30, I'm literally going to just write A times the sine of 30. When I cross multiplied A times, yep, you okay with that? Equals 5 times the sine of 45. Guys, how would I get A by itself? Perfect. We're going to divide by the sine of 30. No one go type in 3.5. Everybody just type in, what can we type in with the least amount of buttons? Just hit divided by. Then what? Sine 30. What do we get for A? Yeah, I'm good with 7.1. 7.1 is A, and I'm just going to put that on my picture. Boom, 7.1. That's the law of sines. I feel like it's doable. How would I do B? We can only do Pythagorean theorem on a right triangle. I hear you, Lil. Pythagorean theorem is helpful, but we don't.
Over sine 105 equals, we could do either A over sine of angle A or C over sine.
I love it. They gave it to us, and we could have been wrong. It makes no difference of the order at all. Great question. So you're saying, what was your instinct, Kels? What are you going to write down?
5 over sine of 30 over sine of 30.
equals B over the sine of 105. I dig it. Now, some people are flippers, and they're like, I always put the sine of 30 over the side. Like, I always put the sine on top, and sometimes I find myself doing it too. Would it matter? Would we still have 5 times the sine of 105? And would we still have B times the sine of 30? So it really makes no difference if we flip-flop them left and right like Kels did, or up and down. Just be consistent. What do we get for 5 sine of 105? 4.8. Agreed. Thanks, Lil. Equals a B sine of 30. Writing this down. Sine of 30. Divide by the sine of 30? Are we in type 4.8? No, just hit divided by sine of 30. 9.7 is B. We did it. That's the law of sines. Again, why didn't we use SOHCAHTOA? Because we didn't have right triangles. Law of sines is helpful when we don't have right triangles. Well, this is annoying when they don't give us a picture. That's what your homework is like. They don't give you a picture. So that's why you saw all my drawing kills. So it's okay. We are smart people. We are going to draw our own. So you guys, let's just be consistent. Let's all draw the same-ish. Do we want to put it off to here? I'm going to put it off to the side. I'm going to put my A, my B, and my C. Do I care what angles, how big they are? Nope. Do I care about how long the sides are? Nope. Because our angles or our pictures are not going to be to scale because we are not perfect. Angle A, they told us is 118. I'm just going to throw that right in my pick. Side A is 20. Got to go right across from angle A. Side B is 17, so that's going to go across from angle B. So could we just find my other two angles right now using that like 180 trick before? No, you can only do that when you have two angles. Darn it. So.
But can't you find... Never mind.
Yeah. Kels, yes. What are you saying?
Well, I just had 20 over sine of 180.
Love it. She's saying, I do know all of this about A. So we must use that, Kels. I'm totally going to use that. So I'm going to say this. Wait, you put A, which was 20, over the sine of 118. Now, you guys, which one must we set up? Could I say equals side C over angle C? No, because we don't know anything about C, right? So what do we have to do? Yeah, we got to use that B. So I'm going to say side B was 17. Sine of angle B, I'm just going to leave it as sine of B. So this one might look a little different. We're still going to just cross multiply. And I'm going to get 20 times the sine of B equals, I love that. Thank you for typing in. 17 sine of 118. 15? Yeah, and I'm just going to write 15 because I'm not at my final. Then what do? We didn't have to do this last time.
Would you have to divide by 20?
We do. You guys, first you got to divide out that 20 so that we're just left with the sine of B equals, what did you get, 0.75?
Yeah.
Then does anyone remember how to get the angle? How do I get angle B when it's part of the sine? Yes, second sine, he said. He's saying, all right, if I divided that by 20. Oh, did it it did come out as 0.75. You guys, this is when we've got to do the second sine. So inverse sine of 0.75. You guys, I'm going to do inverse sine up arrow. Don't be typing 0.75, right, Parker? Inverse sine up arrow, go get it, then hit enter. 48.6 degrees. If I did inverse sine of 0.75, let's see if it gets me, that we'd luck out. I'm going to just put that right in my pick. That B is 48.6 degrees. Thanks for typing it in. Now could I take a shortcut to find angle C? You could do a law of sines again, but you guys, I'm good with the 180 minus because it's just such a shortcut. 180 minus up arrow minus 118. What are we left with? 13. I got 13.4 degrees. You silly goose. Okay, we're almost there. What's the last thing that we need? Side or angle C? Side C. So I'm going to say little side C over the sine of angle C. In this case, we have to use the angle that we just found. We must. And that's okay. Hopefully we're not wrong with it because we have to use it. Do we want to use B's info or A's info to set it equal to it? I'd use A because that was given to us. 20 over sine of 118. We're going to cross multiply. And I'm going to get C times the sine of 118 equals 20 times the sine of, I'm going to do the up arrow, 13.4. 4.6, anybody? Love it. How are we going to get C by itself then?
Divide by
Yeah, and check this out. Divide a sine of 118. Oh, I was going to, yeah, boom. 5.3?
yeah. Oh. I just wrote down the point. Oh, that's when you do the second.
Whenever you're looking for that angle, we need that inverse or that second. Love it. So let's crank the law of cosines. You're like, oh, darn it. There's a sine and a cosine rule. There sure is. And they're good in different situations. Law of cosines. Would you agree? Ew. This one doesn't look quite as simple as law of sines. So if I can ever just use law of sines, I will only use law of sines. Because to me, this is miserable.
How do you know when to use it?
I'll show you an example. Do you agree this has a little Pythagorean theorem built in? You know, a little a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And then it has a little minus some other stuff with it. So let's see when and why we've got to use certain formulas. So let's take a peek at this first picture. And it says solve the triangle. All right, we're looking at this. And they told us side A is 18. You cool with just writing that on our picture? Side A is 18. Okay, I feel like I just wrote that terribly. I'm just going to put that right here. Side B is 24. We don't know side C, but we know angle C is 57 degrees, right? Okay. Could we try to use law of sines? Check this out. Could we be like, all right, B, side B, 24 over angle B equals side C over 57, two unknowns, or 18 over the sine of A? I'd have two unknowns, right? So if we can use the law of sines, I always would. But do you agree in this case, we can't. We would have two unknowns. So in this case, you go, oh, I didn't mean to erase all that. You go use the law of cosines. And so now let me show you what this is all about. Let me show you what this is all about. This law of cosines, woof. Let's look at just this bottom one. You agree we need side C. We need side C in this picture, right? So let's go right. I even might write right underneath it. Fill in the blanks here, right? So we need side C. So I'm going to say, all right, C squared is, what are my other two sides and square them? What's A? 18, and I'm going to say squared. And what's B? And I'm going to square it. Then we do minus 2 times what times what? Yeah, we use whatever two sides we just did here. We're going to use those exact same values right here. They're both A and B, so I'm going to say 2 times 18 and 24 times the cosine of, do I know what angle C is? 57. Boom. Can I type all of that in my calculator? Yeah. So when we're looking for a side, law of cosines really isn't that bad because I can type all that in. Everybody, go type it in. Don't wait on us to do it for you. Point. Doesn't 429.4 seem a little big for this triangle? Exactly. We got C squared is 429. So then we got a square root both sides. And I'm then going to have the square root, second square root, second answer, or the up arrow. 20.7? C is 20.7. So this law of cosines isn't too bad. 20.7. Boom. Now that I've got that, could I do the law of sines? Is that what you're saying now? Yeah. She's saying, can I just do 20.7 over sine 57 equals angle B over the sine of 24 or something like that? Yeah. Hold on. Can you bear with me real fast, though, Kels? Don't hate me. I want us to practice cosine one more time, though. I agree. You would use law of sines in this case, but I just want to make sure that we can do law of cosines because we just learned it. I want to find angle B with law of cosines. Okay? If we're looking for angle B, I'm going to look at this. And you guys, does it really matter? These are really the same formula, just with angles and sides moved around. But I'm going to focus on that. If I want angle B, bear with me. Do we know what B squared would be? 24. So this is going to be a little different in the fact that we got to do 24 squared now on that left side. Equals. Do we know what the other two sides squared are? Yeah, don't we have the other two? So I'm going to just put them in. We've got 18 squared and 20.7 squared minus 2 times those two sides that you just wrote. Yes, sir. Times the cosine of the angle that we need. Times the cosine of B. This angle will always match that side. The angle and the side have to be like on either ends of the equation from each other. A's side goes with A's angle. Cool. You guys, what do we type in our calculator now? Be so careful. People mess this up all the time. What is that 24 squared? 576. 18 squared? Now, do we want to do some shortcuts or do we want to do it all individually?
Shortcuts.
Okay, how about this? Are you cool with, can we just add those up? Let's go type those in. So let's go do a little 18 squared plus up arrow squared. Oh, geez. Squared. Did you guys get 753 from that?
Yeah.
0.4?
Yeah.
Minus. Are you cool with going to find out what this all multiplied together is? 2 times 18 times up arrow, get my 20.7. Is that 746? Yeah? Times the cosine of B.
And then subtract the 753.
Yes. Can I tell you the biggest mistake people make? People type all of this, I'm going to highlight it in black. They type this whole portion in their calculator and they subtract that. But Abby, you just told me to just subtract this amount, which you're right. Because what will we have to do to this guy that's being multiplied by the cosine of B? You know what I'm saying? So this is a two-stepper that a lot of people mistakenly make it in one step, and we can't do that. So I agree. I'm going to take my 576. I'm going to subtract my 753, and I'm going to get negative 177.4. Then what am I going to do? Yes, you guys, divide by that negative 746. Again, I'm using all of this info from my calculator divided by up arrow. Oh, I do need to make it negative. Divided by negative up arrow, which I got 0.237, which again, however many decimals you want to put, it's not your final answer, so it doesn't matter.
And then inverse.
Then we got to do the inverse. Inverse cosine of 0.237 is going to equal angle B. So I'm going to do inverse cosine of up arrow. And I got angle B to be 76.2 degrees. Anyone else? I can't stress enough that this had to be done in multiple steps, that we can't just subtract or divide out that one big quantity here. So we got angle B to be 76.2. That was way worse than law of sines. So on your own, you were definitely going to do law of sines, but I wanted to make sure that we can do this when needed. I agree, Kels. I'm just going to do 180 minus the 57 that they gave me, minus the angle that I just found to be 46.8. 46.8 degrees. Do we need anything else?
No.
We did it. Geez. Law of cosines, in my opinion, is pretty miserable when you're looking for an angle. When you're looking for the side, life is good. The angle is the worst. I fully support going law of sines. Okay? Equation, I'm just going to bring one of them. Doesn't matter which one. Here we go, y'all. It just says nothing. It just says good luck. What do you think we need? All of the angles. No. All of the angles. Let me go bring the equation for you. Boom. Here is our formula. I don't care which angle we want to find first. What do y'all want to do? She says, let's go A. I'm here for it. If we're looking for the A, cosine of angle A, then we're going to have side A all the way over here. What is side A? 7. So you guys, we all need a little. 7 squared equals what squared plus what squared? 9 squared plus 15 squared. If you put 15 squared plus 9 squared, I don't care. Minus 2 times 9 and 15 times the cosine of angle. Beautiful. What are we doing in our calculator? Use your calculus, but dang, don't take too many shortcuts. I personally like to figure out what 9 squared plus 15 squared is. Anyone get 306 for that? Make sure you're typing it in, not just copying. 2 times 9 times 15 minus a 270. Then what are we doing? Love it. Thank you. Minus 306 from my 49. And then negative 270, right? Make sure to keep it negative. So we get 0.95 equals the cosine of A. To get A, we got an inverse cosine. Excellent, Mateo. Second cosine up arrow. 17.9? We got A to be 17.9 degrees, right? Okay. So then I would do, if I'm looking for, did you go B or C, Kels?
I went for B.
B. So I would have said 9 squared.
I'm doing it as sine.
Oh, you went law of sines way. Okay. Well, we're going to match up at the end. 81 minus 15 squared equals divided by 2 times 7. Did you get 23.2?
I did.
And that's okay. Let me do it with you sine way. 23.2. Kels, what was your setup?
7 over sine of 17.9.
Yep.
Is equal to 9 over sine of B.
Perfect.
And then I did 9 times sine of 17.9.
9 sine 17.9.
Yeah.
Yep. 2.8 is 7 sine of B.
And then wouldn't you divide by 7?
Yep. Divide by 7.
And I got, yeah. Oh, and then you have to do the didn't do that.
That's okay. Inverse sine. Boom, we got the same answer. I love that. 23.2 degrees. I love that. Good work. You guys, am I going to do that again for my third angle? Oh, heck no. Heck no. 180 minus one angle minus my other angle. We are done. I got to just go get my other angle. There he is. 138.9 degrees. Whew. So on Thursday, you're going to flip back and you're going to do the 11-2 homework and the 11-3 homework. If Marcus were here, he would go do 11-2 homework and 11-3 homework right now so that he would have all Thursday free. I don't care what you choose to do. I have my answers that you can check with.